Hey, hi, hello. What? Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jess. We're in the car, obvi, and we're going to the library. So I don't know what I'm titling this vlog. It was influenced by, I can't remember her name right now, but I will put her thumbnail here and a link to her video. But it basically was, she did a video going to, I'm pretty sure she just went to a library and looking for titles she had never heard of. So she didn't get any recommendations from Goodreads, from Bookstagram, Book Talk, YouTube, just trying to find books organically like we used to do back in the good old days. And I was like, oh, I love this because, yeah, sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you still might find books that it's a little womp womp, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that, is this air on? It's a little chilly, it's cool outside. It's like giving fall outside. So we'll see. I'm looking for 3 books, and I have some recommendations for parameters for my patrons about like what genre, what kind of book I should look for. So I'm gonna reference that while I'm in the library, but that's what I'm about to do. Go to the library. I just took my bandages off, but I would like to tell you should I went to CVS and got my vaccinations, my COVID and flu vaccine today, because science saves lives. Vaccines, herd immunity is important. There are some people who cannot get vaccines. That's why those of us who can should get them to protect those with compromised immune systems, little babies who aren't old enough to get vaccines, okay? Please. Don't feed into that nonsense. So anyway, I did that this morning. My arm's a little stiff. And what time is it? I don't like to keep my watch on anymore because so I'd be looking and I'm like, I don't know what time it is. But yeah, I've already had a day. So we're gonna go to the library. I don't know how much filming I'm gonna do at the library because, you know, there may be patrons. But, you know, we are masked. Wearing masks. Baddies wear masks. They get their vaccinations as they can. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Let's go.
Let me tell you something. I have heard of Danielle Steele forever. I've seen her in grocery stores and bookstores for years, and I've never read any of her books. One day I'm going to do that. Also, I don't know about y'all, but I love to sit on the floor. I'm a floor girly. I do it in a bookstore. I'll do it in the library. I ain't got no shame of sitting on the floor, get comfortable so I can peruse the titles. Now, if the library is busy, no, I'm not going to sit my ass on the floor and clog up space. But there was no one down here with me, so I sat comfortably and I browsed the selections, and I ain't got no shame.
I've got 2 books, but I want to get at least one more. And I'm trying to look at science fiction, but nothing is. I've either heard of it or it's not speaking to me. I think my parking meter runs out soon, so let me focus. I found a 3rd book, but my parking is about to expire. Do I see anybody? Hold on. I don't see any parking police, but I'm about to turn this air up because it's hot, but I'll show you the books once I get back to the crib, okay? Okay, we have made it back. Sorry, it's easier to do this in the car because then I don't have to. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This cystic pimple right here. This scar, okay? Why? Anyway, easier to do it out here. So I got 3 books and I'm gonna show you them all, although you already saw the first 2. So yeah, I have not heard of, the whole thing was to find books I have never heard of the author, never heard of the book. And these all fit, because there were some where I'm like, okay, yeah, I've heard of that author, but I don't know any of their books. I don't recognize any of the titles, but I still went completely unknown to me. You may have seen these. 2 are newer releases and 1 is older. Is that the date they came out? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so the one is 2020 and the other 2 are 2025. It's crazy that 2020 was 5 years ago, but anyway. So, you may know about these. I did not. Okay? So the first one is One Yellow Eye. Yes, by Lee Radford. The cover drew me into this one, and then reading it, it says that Kesta has just survived a major zombie epidemic that has left London ravaged. And she has spent her life looking down the barrel of a microscope rather than cultivating personal relationships. But she met her partner, and then he's one of the last people in London to be infected. This sends her in a triage mode. So she is keeping him alive and hidden, although he's supposed to be rounded up since he's infected, and that's taking over her entire life. She's drinking to cope. She's stopped attending her mandated zombie apocalypse recovery group. There are whispers of a top secret lab working on a cure, so she's clinging to that as a lifeline. But can she save her husband, or will this trigger another outbreak? So I was like, I don't know what genre this is considered. Would it be sci-fi? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, is this considered sci-fi or dystopian, or I don't know what genre. This was just down with the new, and yeah, again, I love this cover, and I was like, zombie kind of thing, illness, but like with a deeper, like a personal story attached, could be good. I don't know. The cover really sold me. And next I have Blood Slaves by Marcus Redmond. The title, the cover drew me in. And so this is a part historical drama, part supernatural horror, and part alternate history. So it is a origin story, or we have a new creation myth of the vampire, one that's rooted in justice and sometimes violent means necessary to achieve it. So this is set back in 1710. And it says, what if a mystifying revolt precluded the Civil War and changed history as we know it? The vampire origin story is brilliantly reimagined in this terrifying novel of ancient lore, startling revenge and immortal emancipation in 18th century America. Okay. And lastly, went up to the science fiction. Again, these are 2025. This one's from 2020. And this sounded, although I don't take much from blurbs, reading the back and then reading the blurb, I was like, okay, I kind of want to read it. It said, if Long Way to a Small Angry Planet had more kickboxing matches and death-defying space rescues, this would be the book. Which I really did enjoy The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, but I do enjoy more like action in like a space opera. So this sounds like that's going to be the mix. So this is, there seems like there's an annual boarding games. With this year's competition looming, they're looking forward to some payback, but then they have an unexpected personnel change. So they've got a new person who's coming in trying to find her place, and they have to learn to work together. So I don't know if it is, but it sounds like kind of like ragtag group. Hopefully it's found family in the setting of like space action adventure games. So this is the first installment in a unique science fiction series that introduces the Near Earth Orbital Guard, or the NEOG, a military force patrolling and protecting space, inspired by the real life mission of the US Coast Guard. So I think these all have a little bit different flavor, and I am intrigued. I don't know which one I'll start first, but currently, well, okay. I finished Chain Gang All Stars, and I really, really enjoyed that. But another book that I was reading, that was a Patreon pick, I'm just like not into it. I'm 40% through. Maybe it's been over a week, and it just feels like it's dragging, and it's The Tainted Cup, and I just like, don't care. And I've been like trying my best, especially for Patreon picks, to not DNF, but like I don't care. So I think I might give up on that one, so I can start something here. So I'm gonna make lunch, and I'll update you when I have started the book. I have no reading update. I did not read yesterday when I said, I don't know if I said let me go read, because I didn't. I watched Charmed. I'm on season 7. This season is probably by far my least favorite, but I don't remember any of this. So yeah, I did that, and then I went to a workout class at 4:30 that was horrendous. I may tell you about it, but right now I left the gym, and I'm about to go into the store, which is a bad idea because I'm starving. Like, my stomach is like, roar. I'm so hungry, but it's like right here, so I need to go in. So that's my update. It's Tuesday. I do plan to read today, but I also need to do a lot of filming because my friend, roommate that I stay with, spends most of the day is working, so I prefer to film when she's not there. So I need to film like 3 videos today, and I need to edit, so I should start reading today. I don't know how much, but anyway, I just wanted to complain that I'm very hungry. And hopefully I just won't buy a bunch of snacks. Well, I need something I could leave in the car as like a post-gym car snack. Robin is always telling me that, but I just like never think of that. I don't know what to get. Maybe I'll get me a can of Pringles or something. So last night I did read. I got like 40 pages, maybe. Yeah, I got 40 pages into One Yellow Eye. I had to stop because it was making me sad. No pets were mentioned, but I just went to thinking about Nigel, and then I cried and I stopped reading. Anyway, so I'm going to continue reading this today. It is already 12:19. I went to a coffee shop with my friend today, and then I went running. The run was terrible, but I've showered, I had lunch, and I am exporting a video. But right now, all the knitters on TikTok are upset at John Green. And I didn't watch the video. I'm not a knitter, but I would like to be. So anyway, that motivated me to get out my yarn. Y'all just gonna have to see the background. That was sent to me by Mara, and she had already started a bunch of them because she's amazing. So I have this is the dumbest shit. Why, Apple, can I not switch between front and back while recording a video? Anyway, this is what I'm Continental Stitch for Dummies, because I'm going to try to practice knitting and purling. So that's what I'm doing right now. Obviously, I cannot. No, actually, I don't even think I could. I can't even, even if I had the audiobook, I couldn't do this and knit because I don't know how to knit yet. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to get back to this, and I'll come back with an update. I haven't even been doing this a minute, and I'm frustrated. Maybe knitting is just not for me. I'm too dumb for this. I'm too dumb, especially to learn virtually. I need someone in person. And when I look up stuff here, I cannot find anyone. I fear I'm too dumb for this. Hi, I've been talking to this camera and it wasn't recording. I look like Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Please ignore. But I've read about 95 pages of One Yellow Eye. And it's interesting. It's about 340 pages. So I read most of the synopsis, but I didn't read all of it. And I don't want to go back to it if it like spoils something else that happens. But I'm just like, what is going to happen? But it's really been setting up our main character, Kesta. Like we saw how she met her husband, Tim, where she's working, how he is in her flat. He's been bitten, but she's keeping him alive and like chained in there because she's destined to find a cure. And now she's working with this because she's a scientist. And now she's working at this new place that is focused on studying the virus and trying to figure out like where it came from and how to come up with a cure. So that's all I've gotten so far, but I'm interested in like to see where it's going. I like the writing enough, although sometimes I feel like the sentences, I don't know if clunky is the word. We'll see. So still very early on in this, but I'm gonna make some dinner, and I wanted to get to like page 150-ish tonight. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. Once it gets dark outside, I'm like, it's not time to read. I might get back to Slow Horses on Apple TV, but so far so good. So I've gotten to like page 147 in the book, and very obviously the story's a lot about grief as well as the zombie virus, and she is a scientist, so just a warning that there is some animal testing, and so that's just hurt my little heart. But yeah, this last chapter was really focused on, like, every chapter is about grief, but this last chapter really was, and I just was like, oh, it just was, I don't know, making me think of my Andrew. I miss him so much. So I feel like I'm a little under halfway through it, and I've really bookmarked today to mostly do reading. So like, I'm gonna try to finish it today. We'll see what happens. But it's lunchtime. I'm making a modified snack wrap. I say modified because I don't have any lettuce. So I got the green things that I do have. I have some cucumbers and a bell pepper. And we're gonna make a modified snack wrap. I have some chicken nuggies and fries in the oven. And I need to get my tortillas. I hope I got tortillas. So that's what I'm gonna make, and of course I'm gonna watch Charmed.
This is only gonna matter if you've watched Charmed, and if you are like me, you grew up watching Charmed. Episodes on TNT, they would just be coming on because, you know, back in the olden days we didn't have DVR or Netflix, so you just had to watch what was on the TV. Okay, and so I saw a lot of the first 4 seasons, a little bit of 5 and 6, but the 7th and 8th seasons I ain't never seen an episode. And so I'd started this rewatch with Angela, and I have a lot of mixed feelings. I had a lot of enjoyment in the first 4 seasons, and still 5 and 6, even though I had some issues, but those seasons still overall is such a good time rewatching. But let me tell you about this 7th, and now I'm on the 8th season. Obviously the show ended like 2006, so it's been a long time. That's actually disgusting to think how long ago that was, but I am just so annoyed, and I'm trying to keep in mind the time that this show was coming out, but some of this stuff is so ridiculous. It's like obvious that it started in the late 90s to the early 2000s, but the hyperfixation on getting a man, oh my god, can Phoebe do anything else but worry about having a man? Like, I am so tired for her. It's ridiculous. Anyway, going forward, any rewatching, I will keep to the first 6 seasons because they can keep 7 and 8. Anyway, I'm finishing up my Ratchet snack wrap. Okay, bye.
Okay, here's the thing about reading, is that I'm always in the bed. So I want a nap. I had my lunch, I cleaned the bathroom, I started laundry, I had washed my blankets, I put that back in the bed, and I finished the episode of Charmed that I had started. And now I'm like, you know what sounds good? A nap. What time is it? I don't know. Mind your business. 3:15. That's perfect nap time. So much for finishing this book today. I'm enjoying this story. You're getting a lot of sciencey talk because they're researching a virus, right? So lots of sciencey talk about their research and trials and stuff. I will say that I would enjoy this more if the main character was more likable. It's not that she's not likable. I just don't feel any kind of connection to her. I don't feel like I know her. Like, I obviously know the situation that she's in, her motivation, but like, I don't know her. She pushes everyone away, She's just about the work. So that is like, I'm interested in the plot, but for it to be amazing, I need to be invested in the character, at least somebody. And she's our main character, and she's interacting with other people, but yeah. So I'm feeling sleepy, but I'm at page 169. But by the time I get to page 200, that might be too late for a nap. Well, I mean, not too late, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do my long run tomorrow, Friday, or on Saturday. I usually do it on Saturday, but like, I'm dreading it. So I'm like, maybe I should just do it tomorrow and get it out of the way. And then rest. So if I do run tomorrow, then I don't need to take a nap because I just need to go to sleep early because I need to wake up early. Oh, I'm sick of running. Okay, I'm at like page 186. I'm trying to hold my phone. Albanese gummy bears are the best gummy bears in existence. They're so good. So this is about to be a spoiler. But so there's a man who just like crawled out of a sewer who's still infected with this virus. Like at this time, they thought that they've gotten everybody who had the virus and they've killed them. And like life has basically gone back to normal, but this man comes out and it's the first one they've seen in like 5 months. And so they're taking it back to the lab where she's working at. And they have this moment of like, because he has his wallet in his pocket and she's like, perfect. We know who he is. We need to notify his family. And their boss is basically like, no, we don't want to get like, you know, the red tape involved or letting the family know and not wanting to allow us to keep him and test on him because he's like their first live person infected with this virus. And she's like, that's unethical. And so I'm just thinking like, yes, it is. And then he pulls out his license and he's like, well, he's an organ donor. So like that can be our like workaround. And I'm like, I understand what she's saying. Like cause she's like, his family's probably been searching for him. The other people are like, they probably gave up a long time ago. And of course she is like staunchly against this because, you know, she has her husband that she's trying to find a cure for. And I'm just sitting here like, I know it's unethical, but I'm like, girl, shut up. Y'all need to run some tests. I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I was like, that I feel like that's bad of me to think that, but like I understand both sides at the moment in a made up situation like this. You know what I'm saying? On these perfect days, Kesta did laundry. For the first time in months, she washed her clothes, her underwear, her towels. Let me repeat that. For the first time in months, she washed her clothes, her underwear, her towels. So has she not been washing? But she did shower a couple chapters ago. So she must have endless towels and underwear. This ain't no way homegirl been washing and putting back on dirty drawers.
Please spare me the Jessica you're not thinking. She's depressed and depression. You don't... Oh, shut up, okay? I know.
She washed her underwear. She specified her clothes, her underwear, her towels. I mean, white people do love to get on the internet and tell us how they don't wash, so.
Chat, is this too much cilantro? Guess what? I didn't ask you. Shut up. It is not too much. It's the perfect amount.
It's me. I have 15.5 miles today, and I've ran 4. So, I got a while to go. I'm listening to a different book on audio because the one I'm currently reading, the audio wasn't available. So I'm listening to The Family Experiment, I think by John Mars, because it's always a good time with him. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully I survive. I went to the Quick Trip to get me a Dr. Pepper. Mid-run snack. Hello, what a terrible angle you have found yourselves in. So sorry. I can't be arsed to get my ass up though. Hold on. I have completed One Yellow Eye. I had to turn off my camera because I'm on sprints. And yes, I finished my first read, One Yellow Eye by Lee Radford. Interesting. I would give this like a 3.8. I think the strong points are, you know, the story of what's going on, especially it really starts to pick up. And there's lots of questionable things done in the name of science. There's also the story of grief, of essentially losing her husband, because she has him, but he's infected, right? So she doesn't really have him. I will say that I don't know if it's because I wasn't connected to the character. It's not like I didn't care that she didn't have her husband. Like, I could understand that grief and, like, to a certain extent, why she was so dedicated to find a cure and, like, keeping him alive, trying to bring him back. I get that. But, you know, certain things that happen, I feel like I didn't have an emotional response to. And sometimes I was like, damn, girl, you gotta let him go. So again, character work, not the strongest. I think the focus of the plot really was the strong point here, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, questionable things in the name of science, and I was like, this is really some white people shit that they could get away with. And also it makes you, it's like, especially them presenting it, how they're going about it, you're like, damn, like, I understand you shouldn't do that, but, like, I understand why them as scientists want to do that. So I thought that was really interesting. It was really bringing up, like, the ethics of science and research, especially involving animals and humans. I will say there is some on-page testing on animals, and that I had to skim over some. I was like, ugh, I can't. But the ending, there was some stuff, and I was like, wait, oh, okay, it's going like this, and then it was like, no, it's going like this, and it was like, I was like, what? So it happened, it wraps up real quick, and I was like, so I don't know if I feel fully satisfied with the ending, but I understand how we got there. Yeah. So I think this really read really quickly. Like, the print isn't super small. After every chapter there's a blank page, so this flew by pretty quick once I start, especially like past not like, I'm not saying it's not interesting, but especially once I got to like page 100, I feel like I was flying through really quickly. But I think this is interesting, and I would say that you may like this. I'm not the expert on zombie novels, but this is definitely different than one I've read. So if you want to read a story about grief and science and zombies, more focused on the science. I will say the science is the big thing. Science, grief, zombies. Then you should try this out. And so I, again, never heard of this until I went to the library exploring. So this, I'm going to round up to 4 stars. I had a good time. Although I wanted to punch the main character often. So if you've read this, I would love to know. Or are you going to read it? I don't. Yeah, also, you know what I love in a book? When you can't initially tell why the book, maybe the title or like the cover, but then once you learn, like learning the title pretty quick, but once you learn the other parts of why the cover is the way it is, you're like, oh, yeah. And I feel like we could have done a little bit more there, but so that's that. I would say that I would start a second book, but I'd be lying. What time is it? 7 o'clock? I think it's 7 o'clock. And I think I'm going to listen to my audiobook that I started earlier during my run. And I'm going to play like a game on my iPad. I'll start another one tomorrow. Okay? Divas. We are here in low lighting once again because I'm lazy and can't be bothered to get up. I'm not sorry, but I have a reading update. It is Saturday. Since I did my run, I used to do my long run on Saturday, but I didn't today. But today I went out with a friend. We were at, I don't know, I guess you can kind of call it like a big farmer's market kind of thing. There's all these different vendors and stuff. I think I filmed like a brief clip. I got this big ass lemonade and I got some Jamaican food. The lemonade was really good. The Jamaican food was fine.
Anyway, this book, what is it called? A Ring in the Night, A Pale Light in the Black. This sci-fi that obviously I never heard of. So the audio was available from the library because I was finding it hard for myself to focus on this. And I've just been playing games on my iPad. So I'm 20% in. And so this whole thing, the premise, what got me was it was talking about like these space games and how they basically have this new person coming onto their crew, and like this is important for them to like win these space games. So this person has already come in and she like went against her family and joined this group instead of like going into like the prestigious group her family normally is in. And she's replacing somebody on their team who got promoted. So they're like, we got to get you trained up for these games because we have got to win. And so, did I say 20% in? And so it's like fine so far. Like it's easy to listen to, but I have, there is yet to be a character connection yet to make me care. So maybe the game's starting. I don't know if that's going to start soon. It's going to be more interesting. But right now I'm like, why do I care about this story of these people? It's very, I think that, right, everything can't be unique. Like some plots can really get interesting, different plot twists. And like, I picked this up because the plot sounded really interesting. But what's going to make a book really stand out to me, really make me love it, is always going to be the characters. Like take it to another level, especially if the plot isn't plotting. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the first book, that plot was very interesting, even though I didn't have a character connection. This one right now, I'm not feeling a character connection, and we're just kind of plodding along. It still is very early though, it's 20%. And for this challenge, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm trying not to DNF any of the books. So I'm going to continue. It's like 7 o'clock, maybe. And I want ice cream. This thing about this like running, especially these long distances, is I'm always hungry. I'm always hungry. I want an ice cream cone. Damn.
Chat, divas, friends. It is I, Better Lighting, looking rough. It's Myrnin time. What time is it? 8 something? I don't know. I'm in the parking lot of the Bohongles. You probably can see it right there. And hand sanitizer. I got me a Cajun filet biscuit, Cajun filet. And good thing I keep hot sauce in my bag. Swag. Because I'm going to be eating in my car. Because let me tell you, that living with someone who's not your spouse gets tiring. You know, like, it's not like she's a bad person. Sometimes I just want to be alone. So at my house, I can't do that when I want to. So I'm just gonna eat in my car. I'm gonna put on some TikTok so I can laugh. Open my hot sauce. And I'm gonna enjoy this. I could have gotten up and made breakfast this morning. I should have, but she was up and moving around and I just didn't feel like it. You know? I just didn't feel like doing that. But after I updated y'all last night, I might have listened to some more of the audiobook. Damn, there's a big filet today. I don't remember how much. I maybe got to like 25%. So I didn't read that much more. And I'm still waiting to like be pulled in and invested in the story. So who knows? It's going by quickly. I could finish it today. So we'll see. Anywho, I'm gonna tuck in to this beautiful Cajun filet. We didn't have a Bohongles in Louisiana. I think they've started building them now. Because when I was leaving, there was one that was like hours away from me. Or from where? From Shreveport. So they might have one now. But we did not have them. And Popeye is just not the same. Not if you grew up with Bohongles. Anyway, I'm not saying nothing, so let me go ahead and go home. But don't the sky look so nice? Why does better lighting than I've had all week? Anyway, feeling like I look rough. I'm about to go to the library so that I can make myself get work done, like to actually sit at a table. I have gotten like 40% into that book. I don't even know what it's called because it's so boring. I'm not invested in anything. Like, we just had the preliminary games and I'm like, okay. Like, even the games aren't explained that well. I'm like, what is the point of the story? What are you writing? Because the characters aren't good, the games aren't really described. Maybe the actual game will be, but this preliminary games they just had was... Guess who was a big old dummy and went to the library with her math book and didn't bring a charger? You guessed it, my clown ass. Did I get much done? No. Big loser. I was gonna say the library was a bust. It wasn't a complete bust. the things, I'm like having such a mental block right now. The like video idea I wanted to work on and like flesh out, like I'm just hitting a roadblock. I think it's because I'm just so fucking anxious. I can't focus. I did do some other stuff, like posted some stuff on Patreon and did some other like housekeeping things, like virtual housekeeping thing. And I edited a reel, but it's just like I'm struggling mentally, and so that's affecting just like creativity, anything like that. So there it is. I don't know, I just feel so, and you really can't, you know, I can't force it. And luckily, I don't have any like sponsors that I'm working with where I have like a deadline, but it's like, you know, you don't post content on YouTube and that you get more punished by the algorithm than you already were. So, just struggling. Hello, quick ad break because Liquid IV sent me a fun package, which is always exciting because it gets really tiring opening up the mailbox and it's just bills or junk mail. Obviously, this wasn't in the mailbox because the box didn't fit, but it was on the porch and I was really excited when I got back home from the gym and I saw this anyway. So they have been doing these ad promotions and it's been like ditch the glitch and like and they were talking about energy and people were like, is this gonna be an energy drink? Are y'all making like an energy drink in a can? And I mean, I too was wondering that, but no, this is just Liquid IV Energy. Still same packets as like their normal hydration drinks in the individual packets, but these have energy in them, obvi. So these packets are sugar-free and each serving has 100 milligrams of natural caffeine, so less chance of you crashing or getting jittery from it. It also has electrolytes, just like their normal hydration packets, and there are minerals and vitamins. You know, you're getting more than if you were just gonna have a regular can of energy. So these two new flavors, they sent strawberry kiwi and a blackberry lemonade, and I here are trying the blackberry lemonade and it was quite delicious. Now I am not a doctor, I'm not a dietitianist, I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't tell you how often to drink these. You know, maybe not more than one a day. I don't even drink one every single day, but I do drink them a few times a week. They're a great addition into my beverage repertoire, and I do like to have these, especially like midday if I've had a coffee in the morning and I don't want to have another coffee about 1 o'clock when I'm feeling that snooze coming on. This is perfect. So anyway, I always have my code, which is said by Jess, if you want to save some dollar bills. But yeah, ditch the glitch, get you some goddamn energy, try Liquid IV. Hey! So I went to Pure Bar and I'm back. Now, I don't have a food scale anymore, but I need to make my potato for tomorrow's run. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but I'm trying a different source of fuel for my run. And so this has 1 potato, but I'm like, okay, well, this is 1 potato and this is 1 potato. These are not the same serving size. It also has the ounces in and the grams in parentheses, but again, I don't have a scale. Does this look like 5 ounces? I feel like this is closer to 6 and this is like, I need something in the middle.
I'm gonna try this one. Hold on. I'm gonna cut up this potato. I'm just gonna cut it in 4s. That's gonna be easy. But yes, I'm trying potatoes, just salted potato, and we're gonna see if it's terrible, if it's tolerable. Well, I mean, I know that I love potatoes, right? But it's if after they've been with me for an hour, are they delicious? That's the question. So I'm putting those on for tomorrow. But then I have a pump sub and I'm making some fries to go with it. So just a tray of potato. I mean, what better? Ooh, okay, not that many. Save some for the next time, girl. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna go shower. I still am at like 64% in this book, and I thought that I was gonna finish it, but I did a lot today. I had patron sprints, and I got videos filmed and like cleaning and laundry done, so I did not get to finish this book. I'm gonna try to listen to a lot of it tonight. I want to be done with it. I'm so over it. I'm not invested. I do not care, but I'm not DNFing because that was part of the challenge, so I'm gonna finish. So shower, dinner, read. Ugh. Anywho, who thinks I need a new wallet? Let me tell you about something. I like to get my money's worth out of things, okay? Some things I'm quick to purchase, usually food. Other things will be like, oh wait, I was gonna say I lost the button. Here's the button part. I can I carry far too many cards around. Do I need to have them all in here? No. Anyway, I've had this wallet since at least 2018, 2019. So I need a new one. Anyway, I need to go pick up heavy things and put them down because I'm so anxious. So I just got a text from my therapist that we have to cancel today's appointment because she got something from my insurance on Tuesday. And she has to wait because she hasn't heard back. And so I replied like, okay, well, are you gonna have these forms done like by today? So now I'm anxiously waiting for that. I swear to God. And normally if I do pre-workout, I have been taking it dry, but today I'm gonna put it in a little bit of water. I haven't done this in a really long time, so. Because when you do a dry scoop, you just get it over with, right? You don't have to be doing all that sipping. So we'll see. This is cotton. I've been mostly drinking coffee. Ooh, you see all that? I've been mostly drinking coffee as a pre-workout. This is cotton candy. So I'll probably be looking like a crackhead in the gym, like scratching. But yeah, I need her to say that, since we're not gonna have this appointment today, that she's gonna have this paperwork done. Anyway, let me tell you something. There comes a point in time, you reach a certain age, point in your journey when you stop chasing the cutest shoe for lifting or for running, and you go by what works best for your feet. And for lifting, I finally had to accept that I needed a shoe with a wide toe box. This is not sponsored. These are by Reebok. I like them. I think they're cuter than some of the other ones on the market, but my Nike Metcons were just too narrow. I need to spread my toes and really ground my feet. Hey, it's me. We're back. We're looking fuzzy. We're in the bed. It's Monday. I was visiting family this weekend, so I did no physical reading, only an audiobook. So I was like, okay, I'm starting this. I'm gonna make a big push to get through it today, or like a lot of it. I don't know what came over me when I chose this book. I don't choose to read a lot of books that are fictionalized, focusing on enslaved people or doing those times, because it's just a lot. But I haven't read one in a while, so I think that's why I was like, this sounds cool, because it's like a vampire story with that second chapter. I couldn't do it. I'm just like, I cannot do that. But part of this challenge was to not DNF. I am though, and I'm gonna swap it out for something else. So I don't know where I'll put it, but I did go into the Libby app and search for things that were available now. And I did it for it ended up being 15 minutes, and found a few books that I hadn't heard of, looked at their summaries and was like, and
chose this one, which is called The Practice, The Horizon, and the Chain by Sophia Samatar. And so I just got it here on my Kindle, and I'm going to read that. I think it's also a novella, a science fiction novella. And so if I could finish it today, that'd be great, and then I could put this vlog together and tell you about the 3 books. But I have not heard of this author nor this book, so that works. I'm really sad. I'm sure this is good. If you're in the right state of mind and really want to read this, but I was like, I can't do it. So this is, oh, I probably have it up on the screen, but I'll show you here anyway, here on my Kindle. So I've got my second coffee of the day. Isn't this jar so cute? And I'm gonna start reading. I am reporting to you live as Fuzzy Wuzzy Was a Bear. So this, I read briefly what this was about. Like, there's a kid we're basically in space on, like, let's say a space station where people live, and there's people in chains at the bottom, and he is brought up for like this artistic talent to be mentored by this professor. And I didn't read anything after that. So I'm already at 68% in. It's broken up into, I think, 3 parts. I feel like this last chapter, this last chapter 3 will be the rest of the book. And at first I was like, I don't really know what's going on here. But also something, I think the writing is unique. I don't know if I like it. Sometimes I feel like I have to reread sentences because of the structure of the writing. And I don't really feel like I am rooting for a character, but like, I wonder if the author did this intentionally. I'm thinking that they did, that they're not giving like the main characters, the one I think we're supposed to be rooting for and caring for, don't have names. They're the boy and the professor, and the other people have names, but the professor or the woman, and then it's the boy. And so I know that's something small, but I feel like it's keeping them like at a distance. And I'm thinking it's because they're supposed to just kind of be stand-ins for like a general commentary, I think. So interested for this last chapter because something has happened, and I'm interested to see how it wraps up. But this isn't gonna be a favorite, and like I'm like, oh my god. But I think depending on how this last chapter goes and how it wraps, it can just be like an impactful like message. And again, it's really short because it's a novella, which is always great. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna finish this. I think I might take a little break and then finish it. It says I have like 26 more minutes, and then I will go through and finish my thoughts about all 3 books, ranking them, and that'll be the end of this vlog. Finally, this took me way too long. Okay, my sheets are in the wash, but if you've made it to this part of the video, you don't care. You're a true ride or die. So here we are. So I finished, not the original 3 that I planned, but I did read 3 books I had never heard of. So the first one was One Yellow Eye by Lee Radford. Then I read A Pale Light in the Black by KB Wagers. This is the one I just was like, emotionally, I cannot do it. Blood Slaves by Marcus Redman. So I substituted The Practice, The Horizon, and the Chain by Sophia Samatar. So these are my 3 unknown books. Literally had not heard of the author or the book. The cover is not familiar to me either. So I'll rank them. This one was definitely my favorite. One Yellow Eye was the zombie story, and I think since reading this one, this is the one I've thought about the most. Even though I had no deep character connection, I still thought this was interesting for me as a person who hasn't read a lot of zombie stories. I thought this was interesting and creepy, and also kind of made me mad at some points, being like, why would you do that? Was not expecting it to go the way that it did. So this was good. I would read from this author again. It was a quick read. I had a good time. It's hard to say, like, when something is like overwhelmingly, this is not a happy story. So it sounds weird to say I had a good time, I enjoyed this, but I did. Good reading experience, and I'm glad that I tried this. The second, actually, we're ranking. So then I would put this one as my the second best. The Practice, the Horizon, the Chain. This was a novella, which I'm really grateful for because I wasn't in the mood to read something super long. So once I finished this, my last message, I think, was talking about feeling detached from the story because the main two characters, they don't have names. They're just the boy and the woman, or sometimes the professor. But all the other characters had names, which I thought was really odd. And that just, I could never feel connected to the story. And so this felt like maybe kind of like a fable, because it starts out with this boy who's in the bottom of a ship, chained, where all these people are chained, and he gets freed from there because of like his artistic ability. And like, so you're going through this story with him and the professor. But although this was a novella, I feel like this still needed a little bit more to kind of flesh out the story. I think giving the characters a name and like letting us get close to them would have been more impactful, but it seems like they were just stand-ins for like it was just an overall fable about capitalism and racism and oppression, and you could still tell that story and also build great characters. But maybe that's not the author's strong point. Maybe she just really wanted to focus on like the story. So this feels really hard to rate because the writing was very interesting. Sometimes I would have to reread a sentence because I'm like, I don't know what I just read. I couldn't get connected to any character, and it was like over when it felt like we were just making progress. Like I felt like this could have been 50 to 75 more pages to really feel like a fully fleshed out story. Because this, although I've read novellas that feel like a very complete story, this felt like more a short story than a novella. Like it just didn't feel finished. But like I understand kind of the premise, what the author was going for. Just the way it was handled, the way it was told, didn't work for me. So I don't know what I would rate this. 2.5 stars, maybe. And lastly, A Pale Light in the Black. This I was hoping was going to be a good sci-fi time, and I just found this boring. I didn't care about any of the characters. I found the space world uninspired, like just very simple, and that's fine, right? Like I went into this picking this up thinking this was going to be, because it's saying the long way to a small angry planet, but more kickboxing matches and death-defying space rescue. So I'm thinking this is going to be like, I enjoyed A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, but this was going to be more action-y, and this felt just so the whole thing is like this team, they're competing in these games. So there was like a preliminary game, and then like there was the actual games. I found those so boring, and like most of it ended up just being like cage matches, and I thought it's like space like games with like their ship or something. I found that so dull. It felt like it was trying to be have a diverse group of characters, but also not. And the two of the women who I thought were like, oh, they're gonna end up in a relationship, but they were in a relationship with men, and it just felt like, oh. But like I felt nothing there. I just felt nothing. The characters' relationships to themselves, once they bond with each other, that felt superficial. Any kind of romantic relationship, the plot with the games, the other plot that's going on, like murder mystery kind of thing, it just was dull. It just felt bleh. Not remarkable, not rememberable. I'm not gonna remember this. So anyway, what have I learned? That obviously it's always great to stray or take the less beaten path. I don't know what words are, because you can sometimes find a really good book, and I would like to do this more often, to try to go into the library, or obviously I also got an ebook and look for books that I haven't heard of. I don't want to make this just a one-off thing, because it just gets so easy when you're watching videos or you're on Instagram, you start seeing the same books, you're in a bookstore, you're seeing the same books, to get stuck in that. And so I'm gonna try to implement this into my reading, to just try to find randomly here and there books that I'm not aware of, and maybe obviously not as strict. I could do this vlog again and maybe do books like I've heard of the author but never read any of those, which I kind of want to do with like authors like Danielle Steele or Janet Ivanovich, like names that I know I've seen for years. I've never read any of them. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, also that reading projects, this isn't a new thing, but reading projects are hard for me because I'm such a mood reader. And at the time when I picked this up, I was like, oh yeah, this could be enjoyable. Like, cause I kind of got 3 different genres, but then I was like, no. So anyway, I did it. Finding some new titles. If you've read any of these, or if you had heard about any of these, I would love to know. Or if you have a book that you don't think I have heard of, because like nobody is talking about it. And obviously these are newer. I think the oldest one, this was 2020. I think this was 22 or 23. And then these are both 2025. So older, newer, whatever. If you have a book you think I have not heard of and you think I might like it, definitely leave it down below in the comments. But another project completed. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. And now I have the pleasure of editing this mess of a vlog together. So stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreened. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.